Alright, so we're back in the shop getting ready to work on the passenger fender. This one's going to be a lot more work than the driver's fender. But I finished welded the driver's fender, all that. So before we just jump into this, I'm just going to show you quickly how that fender is. Come together pretty good.
But yeah, that's how the driver's fender, or I guess the passenger's fender came out. Sorry, invert what I said over there. But the passenger fender came out pretty good. As you can see, that's the distance on my hand there. Tons of flex. It doesn't hit anything, nothing like that. But it's fully seam welded other than the two little tiny bottom corners there. I elected to leave that open for now just because when we take this off, we're going to have to do a little bit of rust repair and stuff. So I might have to cut into that anyway. I'll just be wasting my time in welding wire if I weld that solid right there. But it's only about an inch, whatever. But it turned out really, really good, guys. It really kind of brings the whole truck back around. Again, we're gonna have to deal with that front end sometime, but that's gonna be another video. Don't worry about that. So yeah, that's all seam welded, but now we got to deal with that guy.
Now this fender right here is a lot different than the other one. As you can see, there's a whole hole in this one, and that's because there used to be a wheel patch panel in here, kind of concave, because this truck used to have quite small tires. And you would put your spare tire right in here. Really, really neat and really, really cool. But I was doing some measuring on that side. It's never going to fit with a spare tire the size that we have, a 245 70/17. It'll just never fit in this hole between the cab and here. So I'm going to elect to delete on this. But first off, we're going to have to do the not so fun thing and take all this Bondo and stuff off like we did on the other one. Can't weld to Bondo, fellas. It just doesn't work. It's not the healthiest to breathe in either. So, let me mask up, put on my suit there, and I'm going to start grinding. And then, we'll start working on that guy. Welcome to IO Stable Garage. So I know it's going to be a little bit of rinse and repeat with this fender like we did on the other one, but there's some key differences on this one that the other one didn't have. So we're going to have to do this guy just a little bit differently than the last one. Let me bring you guys in. I'll show you guys exactly what I mean.
This one, we basically cut it, widened it, stitched it together, cut and butt. This one, however, is a little bit different. We got a big piece of rebar in here that I'm not too concerned with, so I didn't tack it here yet. Not a big deal. We're going to cut it first. But what we really have to do is deal with this guy. This is the spare tire mount that I was talking about. Normally, you would have that spare tire come around here, but because we screwed the whole box forward, no longer can use that, and the tire is big too, so it's kind of like a double whammy. We're going to have to cap that over, make it look like the other fender. Now, I could get the width right already, and we could go with it like that, but I think, in all actuality, I think it's going to be easier to make this panel first, build it off the fender that's on it right now, and then we'll cut the entire thing down the middle and widen it out that way. I think that's going to work out a lot better than the alternative. So, let me make a big piece like this. We're just gonna kind of likely come up in here, almost put a panel right over it, and then we'll come in afterwards and cut and butt the entire piece. So give me a second, let me ponder it, and I'll bring you guys right back when I got an idea. All right, so now we get into the fun part of trying to make that sheet fit there, curve, all that stuff. I'm thinking of doing basically a main bend on the entire sheet. That way there, I can kind of then cut it up and work it here and there on the fender itself. That's my current plan. I'm not going to show it because I might be at this for 2 or 3 hours, but if I get something groundbreaking, I'll let you guys know.
Right,
give me a
so
second.
after, it's actually been a few days of me just kind of wrapping my head around on how we're going to go about this, because it's quite a compound curve. I think the best course of action, I kind of bent up a sheet here, this one right here. I'm going to lay it like this, and we're not really going to worry about filling the gap up right now at all. We're going to basically tack it over this, and at the end of the entire thing, we'll do a big cut and butt, but we're going to be doing it in about 1.5 inch strips. So I'm going to cut this guy in 1.5 inch strips. We're going to do it there, we're going to do it there, and we're slowly going to work each panel, basically, and overlap each one. It's going to be a lot of welding and a lot of work, but I think that's the only way to get that compound curve, really, without the right tools, and we definitely don't have the right tools. So, that's what we're going to try to do. I'm going to cut this guy up in a whole bunch of strips, and then we're going to go at it. It's the best we got. So, let's get at it.
I know it doesn't look like much right now, but that took a lot of brain power to kind of figure out how to do. But as you can see, it melds the fender very well. We still have to cut and butt, and unfortunately, if you look, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have 11 separate panels, basically pie cuts on this. And each one of these have to be cut and butt, as well as cut and butt to the fender. So there's a lot of work to be done to this. What I'm thinking about doing is doing a cut and butt just on the outside, getting that done on the perimeter first. Then we'll come in and we'll cut and butt all around it and work with it like that.
Chocolate orange? That's the best way, because you have all those pieces to make a nice sphere, and they're all individual cut. So these all together will make that nice radius, but it's going to take a lot of cut and butt. And this might be one of the only sections on the entire truck that we actually do grind down, just because when this gets all welded together and there's 1,000 weld lines in it, it might not look the hottest. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But now what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut and butt the outside perimeter of this right now. And then from there, we should be able to basically start cutting and butting these actual lines all the way through.
All right, well, it's not going to weld itself. Got to have motivation to do something like that. Not a bad night, though, really. Just.
So, pretty much all the cut and butt is done on this guy. We ran out of cutting discs and all that good stuff. So we're going to have to come back to this guy when we have a little bit more supplies, but then we can cut that and bring that out. It took a lot of time doing this one little quarter, and it still has to be all seam welded in. Not good. But hopefully next time I see ya, we'll be doing the middle part on this fender, basically widening it out to match the other one. This will be all finished welded, and we'll just have to do the cut on the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one really, really soon. All right, see ya.